Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and another day, another lie about former President Donald Trump has been debunked. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. And if you're not watching us on YouTube, please follow that address in the lower right-hand corner. It's youtube.com/@explainamerica, and hit subscribe absolutely free. It really helps us out. You know, Bob Woodward, I just can't stand him. This is the guy behind Watergate and Nixon. And let me tell you guys something. They don't teach you in history class, but look it up. Do some research on Richard Nixon and Watergate. That man was set up. It was a hatchet job. First of all, he was robbed. Everybody knows the 1960 election was, I can't say the word here, but hamburglared, okay? It was. Anybody with half a brain knows what happened there. Still Nixon, the statesman, he stepped aside. He said, okay, you won. Fair and square. And he didn't want to put the country through that. And then Watergate was their next way to get rid of him. And that was a whole debacle too. And again, I'm not going to get into it here. It's a lot to cover. But he was worked over there as well. And his reputation is sullied forever because of lies. Well, Trump, he doesn't stand for lies, especially from the legs of a sniveling coward like Bob Woodward. And Maggie Haberman, who is no Trump lover by any stretch of the imagination, was on CNN, spoke to 20 sources, none of whom could corroborate that Trump spoke to Vladimir Putin since he's not been president. Not one of 20. Woodward makes stuff up and then swears to it. He's a hack, he's a charlatan, and he's been making money for decades off of one story. And Trump, well, Trump's the gift that keeps on giving to him because the liberal media wants to present Trump like Nixon because you have a warped view of who Richard Nixon was from your high school history books, which, look, it's baked in. I can't undo that. You got to undo that yourself. I was baked in for me too. But study this. Look into it. Do your research. Because the world has a warped view of Richard Nixon the same way they're getting one about Donald Trump. I want you to listen to this and let me know what you think in the comments.
For his part, played coy when he was asked directly, has he spoken to Vladimir Putin since he left office?
Can you say yes or no whether you have talked to Vladimir Putin since you stopped being president?
Well, I don't comment on that, but I will tell you that if I did, it's a smart thing. If I'm friendly with people, if I have a relationship with people, that's a good thing, not a bad thing, in terms of a country.
My inside source tonight is CNN political analyst and senior political correspondent for the New York Times, Maggie Haberman. I mean, that was a dodge of whether or not he has spoken with him. How do you interpret that? Does that, I mean, to me, it sounds like they definitely have spoken, but I wonder how you hear when he doesn't answer.
No, I don't take it as that at all. But I take it as the fact that he wants people to think it might have happened, and I think he wants to not offend Vladimir Putin by saying openly, no, I wouldn't do that, or to look weak as if he wouldn't, be in touch with an adversary who is fighting against Ukraine while the U.S. is funding Ukraine's opposition. But I don't think that it means that he has done it. We talked to be clear, doesn't mean he didn't. But we talked to roughly 20 people who should have had some visibility into this, and none of them knew about it. It's certainly possible that it's happening on some kind of covert channel, or has. It's certainly possible that Trump suggested to people that he had talked to Putin in the past and didn't. All of these are within the realm of possibility. But I don't take that as, yes, he absolutely did, because he often leaves these things open so that he's not ruling something out.
But that's interesting. Even you spoke to 20 people who, generally you would think would know if these calls had happened. And they didn't. And they weren't sure. They
were not aware of this. They did not say, definitively this couldn't have happened, but that they were unaware of them. And that's a lot of people.
It's pretty, I mean, you couldn't imagine a situation where another former president has spoken to a world leader and his close staff and aides doesn't know about it.
No, although Trump does things so unusually, he's not staffed it every minute of the day, and at least back in the past, when he left office and he went to Mar-a-Lago, it was a really tiny staff around him. And so all kinds of things could have happened. I asked him in an interview in September of 2021 if he had spoken to Putin, and he said no, but that doesn't mean that he hadn't either. I don't know that I take that dodge as evidence that he did.
Yeah. So